Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell. So every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. So the migrant crisis is costing taxpayers a lot of money. But not only is it costing taxpayers a lot of money, it is destroying communities as a whole, especially business-wise. Now, I think that's one of the issues you come across when you're dealing with a capitalistic society, because people are out to make a profit and people are out for number one. Now, it's all good when we all come in together and say, hey, I want to start a hotel. Hotel business brings in tourists. You're like, hey, if I got a hotel, next best thing is for me to do is let's see if I can't put a store close to that hotel, or a tourist attraction close to the hotel, a restaurant. Because as long as people come into the hotel, people gonna need to eat. People gonna need to buy some things. So they may want to get some sunglasses or some snacks or a hat or something so they can hit the streets. Whatever, need to buy some gas, need to eat. So we'll work together and, so each one will help bring in business. Oh, we can do a movie theater or sporting a venue, something. We're going to all work together, right? But then your pandemic hits and then everybody has to go for self. It's all about self-preservation. When a tragedy or something crazy happens, then you see how strong your community is, and then you see like who's all for self. But let's get into the story, because I don't want to get too deep off into this without telling you exactly why we're here. This is from MSN.com by way of the New York Post, and it reads, New York City hotels that converted into migrant shelters set to rake in over $1 billion in taxpayer funds per an internal document. So there's always this question of why can't taxpayers decide where their money goes? Well, basically, it's because that if everyone says, hey, I want a certain percentage to go to healthcare, another certain percentage to go to Social Security, small percentage to go to, think about schools. Schools are already underfunded as it is. And let's say like my neighborhood, right now, I have no kids in public schooling right now. None. And I think about, let's see, the neighborhood out of the 30, 40 houses on the street in this neighborhood, maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, not even 10 houses have kids. Not even that many may have kids in public schooling here. So let's say 5. Let's say out of the 40 houses in the neighborhood, 5 houses have children still in public school. So we all decided where our taxes will go. 5 of us would probably be like, hey, I need taxes being paid for the school so the kids can have, make sure they got the supplies, teachers are paid, etc. Third. The rest of us would probably be thinking, we probably had to be coerced to kind of see it their way or understood. But then we had kids in there too. But once our kids graduated, once our kids graduated from school, get out of public school, we're like, I don't need my taxes going to public school no more. That's a them problem. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think nobody would think like that, but I'm just saying if people wanted to be selfish, and not really selfish, but, had other things like, look, I'm getting older. I need more of my tax money to go to Social Security. So when I retire, there's something there. Or I need more taxes going to the roads because these roads are raggedy, or I need more to go to police because crime is going up. You see what I'm saying? So that's probably one of the reasons why the taxpayers are not really, we really can't say where tax money goes. But situations like this is the main reason why we should at least have a say so as to, you should have a choice. Like, because if they can freely give taxpayer money to these illegal migrants to come in and house them, then they can freely, we have made enough noise. People have said enough, like, hey, we got too many homeless. What can we do for them? When people say, man, the homeless, they there because they want to be, they drug users, this, that, and the third. When a lot of times it's not true. A lot of times you just can't afford to live. There are people on the street that got degrees and, maybe in homeless shelters. You never know. Storm might hit, fire or something, and they end up homeless. They don't have family, they can end up homeless. You don't know, and then you just can't, some kind of medical emergency comes and it breaks them, can't work. They can become homeless. You don't know people's situation. Then they could turn, to cope with the pain, they may turn to drugs and alcohol. So you got to get down to the root cause. And then if that's the case, then why don't we just, help them get into rehabs and rehabilitate them? You use your tax dollars for that. For the American citizen, for the community, to keep the community thriving. These youngsters who have like no jobs to go to, no after school programs. Why can't you say, hey, put that money back into these schools for after school programs? Oh, there's not enough money for that, for the after school program for these kids so they can learn what a computer is and this, that, and the third. Well, put that money into that. Instead of, you'd be like, okay, well, we don't have the money for that, but then you got money for this. Taxpayer money for this. So it's like, well, wait, hold on. If you got taxpayer money for this, why couldn't you have done this for the community? What is the reason? But the reason is money. The reason why they can't put money in certain things is money. Because it's about what is going to come back. What they call the rate of return. And unfortunately, that's with the government. Unfortunately, that's even with the medical field. It's about how much money is going to come back in our pocket to make a profit. So always, people follow the money. But let's get into the story. It says hotels are set to easily rake in well over $1 billion in taxpayers' funds for turning their buildings into migrant shelters. Of the 193 migrant shelters being used by the city to house 65,300 individuals, 153, or nearly 80%, are hotels, motels, or inns, according to an internal document obtained by the Post. The city is spending on an average of $156 per hotel room to house migrants. Dang, State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli revealed in a May analysis. While some reportedly have banked more than $300 a night per room since migrants first began being bussed up from the southern border in spring of 2022. So for about 2 years, some of these hotels have been getting $300 a night, nonstop, guaranteed money. What you in business for? To make money. Yes, the ideal situation is create hotels for tourists. First of all, most likely a tourist, they got jobs, they're going to spend money, they're going to respect where they're at. You don't have to worry about, too many problems with tourists coming in. Ideally, tourists come in, stay at your hotels, they frequent the local shops, stores, tourist attractions, airports, hotels, rental places, restaurants, everything, theaters, and then they go back home and now you're making money, and that's just how you want your business to go. But sometimes tourism goes down and you're not making a lot of money. I remember watching a story about a lady who has a business in like Galveston or maybe Padre. And she said that the majority of their money they make for the year is during spring break, the months of spring break. Like, I'm talking like, she was saying like maybe 75, 80% of money is made within like a few weeks, 4 to 8 week span. And then the rest of the year, they just open, just staying afloat, paying bills, doing a little extra. And then I know like the State Fair of Texas, they were saying like people, like nobody makes less than $100,000 in the couple of weeks that 2-3 weeks through, was it like a month? 21 days, something like that the State Fair is open. That they pay a good penny to get in, maybe a few thousand for a booth. But nobody makes less than $100,000 at the State Fair. Nobody. Some people say, hey, that's where they make most of their money. All their money for the year, they make it at the State Fair. or like these vendor shows and stuff like that. You got find a good one, make all your money the rest of the year. Just really open, just promoting, making whatever is extra. So yeah, that's how, like I say, ideally, that's how business goes. But a lot of times, like I say, majority of the year, a lot of times of the year, you ain't making no money. It says through May 31st, the estimated $4.88 billion spent on the migrant crisis. It says what, $1.98 billion went towards housing, which includes the cost for hotels, but also other shelters such as the sprawling tent city at Floyd Bennett Field and Randall Island, according to the Office of Management and Budget. Among the more staggering migrant shelter contracts is a $5.13 million a month deal between the 1,331 room Row, New York, NYC hotel in Midtown Manhattan and the city's health and hospitals agency, according to its June board of directors report. I've never been to New York. I would like to want to visit, but ever since I started seeing and reading about this whole migrant crisis, I said, nah, I'm not really ready to go to New York right now, because it just seems like just something not right, because I don't know anything about it. I don't want to go online, rent a hotel, and then get up there and it's a bunch of, migrants or people just hanging out. Then you see the homeless people like in New York and California, how they just all on the street with tents and duffel bag, not duffel bag, but sleeping bags and all this kind of stuff. Just on the sidewalk like ain't nothing. They got trash. They put out front, rats and everything running through. I don't really want to visit nothing like that. I mean, seriously, I don't. And then the prices are so high. I just don't see, I don't know. I don't see the, I just don't. I'm just, I don't know, just southern and slow and like my space and like quiet. I just don't like that. I don't see the reason for that. So the Crown Plaza JFK in South Jamaica, Queens, meanwhile, landed a $2 million a month deal for use of its 335 rooms. The report noted again. Okay, let me keep going first. William Chandler, a manager at Iron Bar, located across from the Row Hotel, said he and his other businesses in the neighborhood were getting hit at both ends by the city's decision to house migrants in luxury hotels, which previously had been filled with customers. So there's your, like I say, your issue with the, like I say, when times get rough, then every man for themselves. Because as long as we can all work together, as long as we got paying customers coming in, everybody's cool. We can all work together. But once people are not really getting to the hotels, not really coming to hotels because it may be a little expensive, or they're not making the money, or for whatever reason, now hotels got to figure out a way to make money. And these restaurants are still relying on these hotels. You understand me? To bring in customers. Now the hotels got to figure out a way to make money, and they're like, well, shoot, it's only like a one-way street in this business. It's not like your restaurant is bringing in hotel customers. People staying the night. It's the people at the hotels are bringing you business. And since you're not really helping me, I got to figure out a way to stay in business. And so now I'm finna sell my soul to the devil, i.e. the government, and they're going to make sure I'm paid. So y'all figure it out. It says our taxes are being used to pay for the migrants, and where are we supposed to make revenue, said Chandler. How as a business could we function? Exactly, man. This is a map. Migrants per zip code. Man, that's a lot. I say Manhattan got a lot. Queens got a lot. And they all be like confined really into like one certain areas. Then you have a few of them scattered out. But anyway, hotels have taken more than 16,000 rooms off the market to house migrants, according to a November report by CoStar. And then that's a problem, according to Councilwoman Joanne Ariola. Anyway, who said hotels were built for tourism. Exactly. Not for sheltering the masses of people pouring over our borders every day. These locations, and this one thing, I'm saying, I'm a side with Donald Trump on this one. When he's talking about shipping the migrants back, because it's deeper than what they try to make it seem like. Like they're saying, like you have your Democrats, your Biden people saying, bring these people over so they can have a better way of life. But you're not seeing how you're destroying your community doing that right now. You're just not seeing it. And that's one reason why, I'm cool with Greg Abbott just shipping them to New York, because they understand. See, the Republicans understand about business and the economics, the economy. They understand it and they pressed on it. Democrats more seem like they're more about your emotions, about everybody being inclusive, what they call it, socialism, really, the way it seems like. Where everybody's equal, we're going to bring down the big monsters, but yet they're not bringing themselves down. But anyway, everybody has an equal footing all across the world. Nobody has more than the other. Everybody is, except unless you're in government, which is why people don't leave government jobs. Come on now. Let's be honest. But Republicans are like, hey, in order for businesses to thrive, gotta have customers. How do we get customers? People gotta work, people gotta make decent money. And so they can afford these hotels and travel and go on vacation. This is how you keep the economy going. How you keep these businesses, because if you don't have businesses and stuff shut down, now you're looking like the north side of Tulsa, South Dallas, and all them places like that. And the economy go down and it becomes, the hood, the ghetto, whatever you want to call it. And then decades later, them folk will come in and just bob that land real cheap and reflip it again. But like I say, so when Donald Trump talking about shipping the migrants back, when Greg Abbott talking about closing them, building that wall and closing them borders, shipping them borders, pushing them folks back, this is why. This is one of the reasons why, because it's messing up. And you can like this, you can hate the Republicans all you want. This is why I say it's about policy, not about the politician, because policy shows that what the Democrats are doing with these migrants is not helping the economy at all. We can sit there and say, taking away jobs from black people, this and that, third, and we can get into that whole discussion. But as a whole, as a community, everybody want to be Americans. It is destroying businesses as a whole. The influx of city cash has propped up the hotel industry, which saw 21,000 new rooms alone come online in the 4 years prior to the pandemic, according to the city's Department of Planning. When travelers shunned New York City in 2020 during the pandemic, then Mayor Bill de Blasio threw many hotel operators a financial lifeline by contracting shuttered commercial buildings to put up the city's homeless in individual rooms versus crowded shelters. Mayor Eric Adams has continued this trend. So the Post reported in September that the city extended a contract with the Hotel Association of New York City for 3 years with a stunning $1.3 billion price tag, nearly 5 times the original amount of $275 million just for rental fees for housing migrants. The deal, however, can be cut short if the city finds it suddenly no longer needs the space. So let's say this is the deal. And this could quite possibly be what it is. So let's say the hotel, the pandemic came, they lost a lot of money. So they said, hey, the hotels, we got to keep these hotels open because if they close, we're not going to get tourists in the future. This could be how they're thinking now. So they said, let's bring in these migrants with Joe Biden, because, he's mentally not there, so he'll just do whatever we tell him. Bring in these migrants. We got taxpayer money. We got money that we ain't using. That's set aside for things like this nature. So what we'll bring in these migrants, sit there and say, hey, we have to fund this because we got to bring them in because their world is just tore up and we got to have open borders to help people come in and help grow. We can bring them in. They can work for cheaper than most Americans. We can keep them on minimum wage. Most Americans after a while, they're going, because as time go on, people start to understand that You're not going to get paid staying at your same job. So we're going to change jobs every 2-3 years so that way we can make more money. So we got to bring migrants in to start out at minimum wage, and they can keep them at minimum wage because they know they can't work too many different places, right? Bring them in, house them, use that taxpayer money to help fund the hotels, get the hotels back on their feet with a lot of money. Yeah, some small businesses, they may lose money, get shuttered. I mean, that's the price of war sometimes, the casualties of war. But these hotels is what's going to keep the economy really thriving as a whole, as a bigger picture. Interesting. Get them that money. Once we can keep them afloat, they have the money that they need to stay afloat, open more hotels, then we'll get rid of all these migrants. Or by that time, the migrants are U.S. citizens, because right now they can do everything but vote up there in New York and Chicago and places like that. Still overcrowded, still kind of messing up things, but we're thinking bigger picture, bigger economy, federal money. We're thinking then we can either be citizens or we can ship them all out of here, and then we can get the people, once the economy gets right, once the inflation, stales, whatever, and we can get the people back on track, making money and spending money, then we'll get these migrants up out of here and things will be back to normal. That could be what they're doing. Because you got to think long term. Now, while I'm reading this and thinking about it, you got to think long term, and that could be what their plan is. We're going to continue to look into this and study this and keep an eye on this. It says in January, the city inked a $76.69 million emergency contract with NYC Hotel and Associates of New York City to provide migrant families last resort shelter at 15 hotels in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx through July. The group, and they say, the migrants, they put it into in the hood, but they also put them in a luxury hotel. Why? Because the thing about it, why would you put migrants in a luxury hotel unless that luxury hotel is losing money with American citizens, so they got to make money somehow, so they can make them from the government, make the money from the government. I guess why wouldn't you? I guess it's why some of these politicians were so eager to say, hey, some of y'all may have to take in migrants in your home, for a few months, and they'll say they'll pay you for it. Maybe that's why, because, they see it's some money. They know they thinking that you'll think like them. Hey, saying the hotels are doing, they're making a lot of money. Why don't you do it too? I don't know. The group's president and CEO, Vijay Dhanapani, insisted he's working with the city to ensure that the costs and commitments of housing migrants in his members' hotels were as low as possible. We're proud, man. There ain't nothing cheap about dealing with the government. Everything they do is high price. They paid their brother $4,800 just to have a talk about black businesses, Donald Trump people, for 2 hours, and he was tripping. But anyway, that's a lot of money for 2 hours. $4,800. You can come to my house and talk all you want for 2 hours. If you're gonna give me $4,800, it would be a spread there. That the house would be in immaculate condition. Man, I'd probably build a pool for you if you're gonna do something like this just for $4,800 for 2 hours, whatever. Because one thing I do know, won't nothing happen. Nobody's going to come in, nobody's going to act the fool, nobody's going to tear up the house, because them people, they're going to come in with security and everything else. $4,800 for 2 hours, come on in. What? Donald Trump people? Of course, come on in. Joe Biden people? Shoot, come on in. Have a conversation about black businesses or black home ownership. Come on in. Shoot, man, come on. Man, come on. And then people got something to say. Man, whatever. Shoot, I don't see you giving me $4,800 to talk in my house. Anyway, he said, we're proud of the work we've done as an industry to aid the city in its mission to care for asylum seekers who arrive in NYC, said Ken Gurdon. And this is probably, and it's money too, is probably why people like Eric Adams, they stay the course, because they know it's money being brought in. They're not going to bite the hand that feed them. Research director at the Watchdog Empire Center for Public Policy said housing migrants is walloping taxpayers. The migrant crisis is a gash on state and local finances, and housing is where taxpayers are bleeding most. He said the mayor's office declined to provide cost estimates for hotels, shelter migrants. And they should. I mean, we probably can't say where our taxes go, but we should at least be able to see where the money is going. Because if you're spending money, if you're sending our tax dollars, spending on things that we would not approve of, then we should have the right to, if we can't say where it goes, then we should have the right to kick out those who send money to places where we feel it don't belong. And this would be one of them. If the government wants to bring in migrants and, house them for whatever reason, by all means, do what you need to. But using taxpayers' money for it, these hotels are getting this money. These migrants are getting like just free room and board. And it's not right. And hey, I'm going to say when it's time for that re-election, that election campaign, and Eric Adams' name is on that board, is on that ballot. Time to go ahead and surpass that dude and find somebody else, because he's not looking out for the people of New York as it is. But hey, if I was living in New York, I'd be pissed too. But like I said, this migrant crisis, and I could be a tourist, because I have thought about, like I say, planning on going, doing a lot more traveling and doing hidden vacation spots in the coming years. And New York was one of the places I wanted to go to. But like I say, once I start seeing this, it's like, nah, I'm not even going to take a chance. I'll wait till they clear that up, and then we'll rethink that. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story, y'all. Leave your comments below. Let's have an intelligent conversation like we always do. Hey, don't forget to support the channel. There's 4 ways you can support the channel without costing you a dime. You can like, share, comment, and subscribe. All 4 ways may on this cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day. But if you do want to support monetarily, you can do super thanks, super chat, or you can go to the description box. There are links there you can click on. For example, marlonmorale.com, where you can find luxury items such as colognes, perfumes, silks, beard products, etc. Again, marlonmorale.com. Go there so you can support that way too. But however you support, I thank you. Just by watching, I thank you, the same as giving thumbs up, likes, sharing. I appreciate it all. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.